What's going on, everybody? This is Blockchain Bullz, and today we are going to talk about Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So we're going to take a look at some of the things to consider here in early 2021 when it comes to the investment of Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Because why? So many people are talking about this. They keep hyping up Ethereum. This has become a big thing. People just constantly hyping it up. Because they think that it is due for a big rally, and it's kind of like we're always waiting on Ethereum, but we know it's coming, right? And then we have Bitcoin, which obviously exceeded its previous all-time highs and just shattered those by double, right? So let's talk about that. If you're new to Blockchain Bullz and you like talking about cryptocurrency, you can subscribe and keep up with us. Also, yesterday we made some pretty stellar videos, which reminds me, are we due for another Stellar Lumens review? Taking a look at whether or not this sucker is a sleeping giant or what. But also, if you guys would like me to talk about any particular coins or review them, these projects, please let me know. You can see we've got plenty on here. Cardano to $5 and Polkadot to 150. I make the case there. And if you haven't already seen this low cap moonshot, you guys got to take a look at that, because we really take a look at this PPay and some of these other projects like Linear, which really stood out of that list of 5. Those two really stood out: Linear Finance and Plasma Finance. Axion obviously had a little bit of interest, and so did Bondly, and then Wise. So anyway, let's dive in here and talk about this subject. Obviously, as we look here at the cryptocurrency market, we're just under $1 trillion, 999, right? So we go above $1 trillion, we come back down, and most of the market dominance really is wrapped up in these two, Bitcoin or Ethereum. And being that these are like the first movers, Bitcoin being the first mover, and then Ethereum kind of being the secondary project developed by Vitalik Buterin, many of you guys already know that. But what we really need to understand here is what's the prospects for Ethereum. So because we know Bitcoin's got a use case and it's strong, it's got an old source code, but it doesn't really matter because most of the people who are transacting in Bitcoin are doing it in a store of value. Obviously, if you were to order gold right now, how long would it take for you to get the gold? Like 2 to 3 weeks? I mean, it's still faster getting your Bitcoin in 1 hour or however long it takes you to receive it than it is to get a slab of gold, a bar of gold, a coin of gold, whatever the case may be. But when you're thinking about Ethereum, obviously many of you guys are OGs, you've been in it for a long time. You don't have to think of it the same way you think of Bitcoin, because it's got 2 different use cases. And that's what's beautiful about this market, is we're watching different projects take on their own characteristics that are different. And that's what's so cool about watching a developing asset class like cryptocurrency. So as Tyler Winklevoss said, or Cameron Winklevoss said, I'm on Tyler's Twitter here, but Cameron, they're both from Gemini, right? Some of the original investors in Bitcoin after they went to Ibiza, they came back and they bought. But Cameron says, Ethereum ETH is at a minimum decentralized Apple iOS. Apple's market cap is $2 trillion. Ethereum's market cap is $150 billion. That's a 13x from here. So he's saying, that from here, Ethereum could go to as high as almost $20,000 per Ethereum if it catches Apple's market capitalization, right? Almost 20,000. Not quite 20,000, but we're talking in between 15 to 20,000. And obviously by that time, Apple will have a higher market cap because of all the money printing that's going on. So what's more likely? This is how I address these things. I say, is Bitcoin going 11x more likely, or is Ethereum going 11x more likely? Well, those are the things you consider. And I would say the general rule of thumb here is hold both. I mean, here's a good idea. I don't know what kind of budget you guys are playing with, but they've always said since the very beginning, your goal should always be to have at least one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin. So if you're new to cryptocurrency or been in there a while, there's your reminder, or there's your introduction to the way you should be approaching this. A lot of people trade altcoins because they want to build their value in Bitcoin. Even if they're quote unquote SHIT coins that they don't think are going to do much but pump, and then they sell them because they're not addicted to them, they're not in love with them, they're not married to those coins, they just invest because they're trying to build up more Bitcoin. That's why people invest in those SHIT coins that no matter how you look at it, they might just pump just based on the name. So that's why people invest in those to get more Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to your allocation of Ethereum, it was a lot easier to get Ethereum when it was down here in March. I mean, if you ever get an opportunity to do it again, if the price were to ever go down here to $112, this was March 2020, could have bought it for 112 bucks. That ever happened? I mean, you could have scooped up 50 of them for a pretty good price. Nowadays, trying to scoop up 50 of these suckers is not so easy, right? I mean, you're going to at least need to bring in about $60,000 just to get 50 Ethereum. Obviously, it's really hard to get one Bitcoin at $35,000, $36,000, especially if your bank account only says you got $10,000 in there for everything, including paying your bills. So when we're actually looking at this, another thing that we need to consider here is the charts, right? So you go in here, you could type in Bitcoin versus Ethereum, but I look at Google Trends. So how's Google Trends showing the rise of Ethereum? Well, I think Ethereum still is yet to fully wake up, because once people start to clue into that, they may actually decide that they want to invest in Ethereum over Bitcoin. But as you can see right now, Bitcoin still getting most of the notoriety, but at some point it could happen where Ethereum becomes the household name like Bitcoin is becoming. So keep that in mind. But right now, Bitcoin is light years ahead. Even if you get a Bitcoin Ethereum kind of comparison right here, Bitcoin's about 4 times the price of Ethereum right now. In order, if just Ethereum caught that Bitcoin market cap right now, that would be a 4x from here, putting it over $5,000 quite comfortably. So just things to consider. If you wanted to know more about Bitcoin versus Ethereum in detail, Investopedia does a pretty good breakdown. Key takeaways: Bitcoin signaled the emergence of a radically new form of digital money that operates outside the control of any government or corporation, i.e. decentralized governance, right? Or money, currency. With time, people began to realize that one of the underlying innovations of Bitcoin, the blockchain, could be utilized for other purposes. So that was where Vitalik had another vision, whether it came to him in the shower or wherever he was walking through the forest, who knows. Ethereum proposed to utilize blockchain technology not only for maintaining a decentralized payment network, but also for storing computer code, which can be used to power tamper-proof decentralized financial contracts and applications. Now, first thing that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about comparing this supercomputer of Ethereum to Apple, I don't necessarily think it's an iOS, because the value for Apple is more than just the operating system, iOS, right? They sell hardware, computers, cell phones, iPads, and they also have an app store. Obviously, Ethereum does in a way have an app store with the tokenization, but it is fair to compare the two, but it's almost kind of like a supercomputer. That's what you're getting with Ethereum, right? Ethereum applications and contracts are powered by Ether, the Ethereum network's currency. Ether was intended to complement rather than to compete with Bitcoin, but it has nonetheless emerged as a competitor on cryptocurrency exchanges. So Investopedia dives in here. If you're new to cryptocurrency, you could take a look at that, but the key differences is where you would want to kind of hover in on. If we just go back to the market, as you know, on this channel, we talk about a variety of different projects, and you know that there are competitors to even Ethereum doing the exact same thing, but possibly better or different, however you want to look at that. Cardano, Stellar Lumens is kind of like that, not necessarily exactly like that, but then you have Polkadot also, and you have some other projects that you can name off. One that I've kind of become interested in here recently is Algorand. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Just wanted to make this video. What do you guys think? What's a better investment for newbies when they're coming in, for Grandpa or for Uncle Bob? What do you guys think? Ethereum or Bitcoin? Which one should he buy today? Should he buy 5 Ethereum or 0.3 Bitcoin right now today? You guys tell me in the comments. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and keeping up with Blockchain Bullz. And don't forget to look at these other videos. Shout out to Digital Assets and Altcoin Buzz.